A Madison priest is arrested for alleged child sex crimes. We'll detail how his congregation and the Diocese of Madison are reacting.
And the retrial begins for one of the men accused of a fatal Harmony apartment shooting. The evidence shown in court today.
Plus, Taylor and Travis are getting hitched. We'll have reaction from local Swifties about the big news. And that's all coming up on News 3 now at 10. Good evening, and thank you for joining us, everyone. I'm Sarah Carlson.
And I'm Eric Franke. A priest serving primarily in Madison is now facing child sex crime charges.
Police say Reverend Andrew Showers was trying to meet an underage girl for sex in Waupaca County last weekend. Arman Rahman has the reaction from community members and the diocese, as well as the latest from law enforcement.
The Diocese of Madison says Reverend Andrew Showers was assigned to all of these churches as far north as Green Lake and as far south of Clinton and many in Madison since he was ordained in 2017. He is currently out of jail on general release.
It's a sad day for the Catholic Church.
Clintonville police arrested 37-year-old Showers Sunday evening following allegations he tried to meet a 14-year-old girl in Clintonville for sex. Diocese officials say the Madison Police Department notified them on Monday. Showers is facing tentative charges of child enticement, using a computer to facilitate a sex crime, and attempted second-degree sexual assault of a child. Showers is currently serving at Our Lady of Guadalupe Church in Madison, where we asked nearby residents what they thought about a priest in their own backyard facing these accusations.
We obviously like to think about the potential victims in a case like this, and if people are so inclined, that their prayers go out to those folks as well.
The Diocese of Madison has fully restricted Showers from practicing or associating with minors for the duration of the investigation. Bishop Donald Hying said in a letter to members of the diocese this afternoon that there have been no previous allegations of sexual misconduct connected to Showers. He goes on to say these allegations wound the entire body of Christ and cut to the heart for all of us throughout the diocese. Allegations of this nature are always deeply painful, but especially so in the case of a priest.
I think the Catholic Church needs to be at the forefront of that healing process. I know that they've sent out some press releases, but it's going to take a lot more than that to regain a lot of trust of people in the church and people who have gone away from the church. It's certainly things like this that keep me away.
Reporting in Madison, Arman Rahman, News 3 Now.
A decent stretch of weather ahead for southern Wisconsin, but will rain make an appearance yet this week?
Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington joins us with the possibilities. Alex?
And that highest possibility is Wednesday night going into that all-important Thursday for that Badger opener. And we're going to track those showers and a couple of thunderstorms right now and give you an idea of what those showers and storms will be like as we move into Wednesday. Starting off first with sunny skies, really not a cloud in the sky and no drops of rain at that point. As we get later into Wednesday, look at over portions of far southwest Wisconsin, a couple showers, isolated thunderstorms trying to make it into southwest Wisconsin with those clouds just making it up to the Dells to Madison over towards the Elkhorn area. As we go further into Wednesday, into the evening, showers and a couple of isolated thunderstorms start to develop and become more widespread. As we head towards the 12 o'clock hour, take note here, we have scattered showers and a couple of thunderstorms, let's say along I-39, I-94 areas off towards the south and towards the west with our latest projection of future track. But as we go further into Wednesday night and then into Thursday, we're going to be keeping a very close eye on the end of those showers and those thunderstorms. When you join me next in about 10 minutes or so, we're going to move from midnight on Thursday all the way up to the Badger game, and I will have that forecast for the Badger opener coming up.
Sounds good, Alex. Thank you. It is the first day of the retrial of Devontae Gafford, one of the men accused of shooting and killing Devon Grant outside the Harmony Apartments back in July of 2023. Now, the defense and prosecution gave their opening arguments. Evidence on the first day of the trial included surveillance video of the shooting. Video the victim's mother, Alicia Grant, says is difficult to watch as she took the stand herself.
I'll never forget July 13th of 2023. I'll never forget that day. My emotions came when I first came to the courtroom. I didn't even make it up to the stand before I got very emotional.
Well, Gafford faces charges of first-degree recklessly endangering safety and first-degree intentional homicide, both as party to a crime. His trial is set to continue through Friday. The man accused of faking his death and fleeing the United States has now been sentenced. Ryan Borgward has been sentenced to 89 days in the county jail. He'll also have to pay $30,000 and submit a DNA sample. The sentencing comes after Borgward was reported missing last year. An investigation found he faked his death and then crossed the Canadian border and boarded a flight to Europe. He later returned to the U.S. voluntarily. Well,
you have until the end of the business day tomorrow to give your feedback on the selection of Madison's next police chief. The Board of Police and Fire Commissioners interviewed all 3 finalists for the position August 14th. So commissioners are looking for you to watch those interviews and then let them know what you think about the candidates before they make the decision. The candidates are Madison Police Captain Stephanie Drescher, Milwaukee Police Assistant Chief Stephen Johnson, and Acting Madison Chief John Patterson.
State Senator Calderoy's joined local physicians and med students for a roundtable today. The event highlighting how they say Republican-led attacks on abortion access are harming families, even in states where abortion remains legal. The roundtable is part of Free and Just's summer storytelling series, which works to amplify the stories of real people impacted by abortion regulations. Speakers say these restrictions make it challenging to provide care that patients need and deserve.
Restrictions to access to reproductive health care impact everyone who needs reproductive health care, but it impacts particularly people who already have poor access to health care, including people without insurance, people on low incomes, people who live in rural communities where they can't get access to care, as well as minority communities in the state which don't have great access to care.
Free and Just Summer Storytelling Series follows their Storyteller Summit, which brought more than 100 speakers from 32 states to Washington, D.C. to highlight the human cost of abortion bans.
New guidelines are giving pediatricians a more specific timeline to tackle children's mental health. The guidelines say screenings should begin at infancy by looking for postpartum depression in the parents. Then over the next 2 years, doctors should ask about a child's sleep, emotions, and behavior. Then starting at age 3, screen for mental health at annual checkups.
The same things as an adult. How well are they sleeping? How well are they eating? How are they interacting with others?
Doctors say parents can help children by starting a dialogue and modeling healthy behaviors. Health experts add that in addition to your child's pediatrician, parents should lean into teachers and counselors and approach mental health as a team effort.
Big day in the NFL. Rosters getting cut down from 90 to 53 players.
But were there any surprises in who was released? News 3 Now's senior Packers writer Jason Wilde has more from Green Bay.
Usually heading into the final cuts of training camp, the biggest question I hear is, who's going to be the surprise cut? And while I resist the urge to sarcastically reply, well, if I knew who it was, it wouldn't be a surprise, would it? The Packers' cuts today to get down to the 53-man roster limit were void of all surprises. Yes, there was a player or two that I thought perhaps would make it that didn't. Chief among them being Christian Welch, the Iola, Wisconsin native, who was cut at the end of training camp last year when he shouldn't have been, and now has been cut at the end of training camp this year again. But beyond that, McCole Hardman, Isaiah Simmons, veteran players that the Packers took a flyer on, were not surprising to be released. And maybe Brian Gutekunst, the Packers GM, told us that that was going to happen with what he said a couple of weeks ago. He did not speak to reporters today, but this is what he said heading into the final 2 preseason games.
I think everything matters. I mean, even the non-practice stuff, how you're working in the building, doing the bare minimum, it isn't going to get you anywhere in this league. And I think that's the thing, with young players coming in, and I think most of the vets kind of understand this, that, you got to take advantage of all the resources that are here to be a good player. And I think for us, that's part of the evaluation as well, what they're doing in this building and how they're handling themselves and studying and taking care of their bodies. But for me, it's always been, the preseason games and now these joint practices where the level of competition is amped up a little bit. And quite frankly, in the preseason games where these guys have to make decisions out on the field without, breaks in between each snap when they're tired. So those things matter to me, and they always weigh a little bit more.
Now, today isn't solely about who isn't going to be here. And by the way, the Packers have a 16-man practice squad that they can fill tomorrow after 12 noon. And many of the players that were released will probably be brought back on the practice squad. But there were a couple of feel-good stories from today. One of them is Kamal Haddon, who spent all of last year on the practice squad and got his way onto the 53-man roster today. The other, Nazir Stackhouse, undrafted free agent from Georgia, a defensive lineman. His Georgia teammate, Warren Brinson, was drafted in the 6th round. He made the team along with the 7 other Packers draft picks. But for Stackhouse, who has battled narcolepsy and who was against the odds as an undrafted free agent, he became the player who makes a 21-year streak now where the Packers have kept at least one undrafted rookie free agent for their opening day roster. From Green Bay, Jason Wilde, channel3000.com.
All right, thank you, Jason. And we are just 10 days away from the kickoff of the NFL season. The Packers open at home on Sunday, September the 7th with a 3:25 Central Time Lambeau Field kickoff against the Lions, and you can watch it right here on Channel 3. A major announcement for everybody, all of you Swifties out there. I love this story. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are officially engaged. Check out the pictures. In an Instagram post, the couple wrote, "Your English teacher and your gym teacher are getting married." The post was accompanied by the song So High School, which is rumored to be about the 3-time Super Bowl winner. We went on to the street to hear how Madison's local Swifties are reacting.
I think it's really exciting because I've been a Taylor Swift fan for a long time, and she's been singing about finding love for a long time, and it finally happened.
I'm very excited for her, and I am from St. Louis, Missouri, and Travis Kelce obviously plays on the Chiefs, so I'm very excited that she has that Missouri connection now.
I wasn't quite as excited as my roommate, but she was very excited. My sister texted me right away, so it seems to be pretty big news for some people. I know them pretty well as big names, so them finally getting married is pretty cool.
Well, the couple has not revealed when and where they got engaged, but clearly some beautiful professional photography. And last check was, I don't know how many million.
20 million, something
least,
like that. And
yeah.
7 or 8 million shares. It's,
right.
I guess, her biggest social media post ever. So.
She's
got some followers too, I guess, some football fans.
That's true. She has more.
Yeah, a lot more, no doubt. No doubt about it. Well, WISC-TV 3, Television Wisconsin have completed that major upgrade we've been telling you about to our over-the-air broadcasting system. 2 new transmitters. We're excited about that. It means those watching us with an antenna will need to rescan their TVs. Now, to do that, just open your TV's menu, select Settings, and then choose Channel Scan, or it also might be worded as Auto Tune. We also have those instructions you can find at our website, channel3000.com/rescan. If you watch WISC-TV through your cable service or satellite or streaming, you will not need to make any changes.
Well, ahead at 10, Alex tells us about our rain chances this week.
And the Trump administration may be taking to court again the potential legal battle over the firing of a top Federal Reserve official. That's next. Stay with us.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Welcome back. President Trump's staff shakeup at the Federal Reserve is heading for a court challenge.
And the president is upping the ante in his fight against crime in Washington, D.C. Erica Brown with the details now from the White House.
President Trump on Tuesday did not back down from his plan to fire Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook. Trump claims there is sufficient cause to believe she committed mortgage fraud.
She seems to have had an infraction, and she can't have an infraction, especially that infraction, because she's in charge of, if you think about it, mortgages, and we need people that are 100% above board.
Cook's lawyer said in a statement the attempt to fire her lacks any factual or legal basis and vowed to sue the administration. Critics argue Trump is slowly chipping away at the Fed's independence. The president has repeatedly pressed Chairman Jerome Powell to lower interest rates. In Washington, as armed National Guard troops patrol the city, the president weighed extending their mission beyond 30 days, but doing so would require approval from Congress.
We'll work with Congress, or I could declare an emergency, but I don't think that's going to be necessary. We'll work with Congress. We're going to be working with Congress.
And in his latest move for his crackdown on crime, the president said the federal government would seek the death penalty for murders committed in the district.
Anybody murders something in the Capitol, capital punishment.
The D.C. City Council abolished the death penalty 44 years ago, but some federal crimes in the nation's capital are still punishable by death. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
Well, the Badgers face off against Miami of Ohio next week, but will we get any rain on game day?
Alex with a closer look at those chances for showers.
I think we're going to sneak just by without having any raindrops during the game. Here's that football forecast kickoff. A bit on the cool side, we can't escape that, with temperatures at the end of the game just dipping below the 60-degree mark. So you might still need to bring that light jacket. Those showers, though, they're still in the forecast leading up to the game, perhaps starting as early in southwest Wisconsin as 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, or 2 or 3 o'clock rather in the afternoon. Viroqua over towards Bosqueville, Prairie du Chien, Platteville, maybe even Darlington, picking up an isolated shower. Can't even rule out that shower with our latest future track projection here in Madison around 6 o'clock, but not very eventful at this point in time, at least up to 6 o'clock Wednesday evening. It's as we evolve and get a little bit further into the night here. Take note as we head towards the midnight hour, a couple more widespread area of showers and a couple of embedded thunderstorms moving in from northwest to southeast, filling in across southern Wisconsin briefly during that 3 o'clock in the morning to about the 6 o'clock in the morning time frame on that all-important Thursday. So not big changes from what I was showing last night, that by the time we get to 6 o'clock or so, we get rid of the showers in the morning, but then we have a couple of leftover clouds. Variable cloudiness is what we call when we have periods of clouds and then some sun. We'll have some winds coming in out of the north and out of the east too, ushering in those cool temperatures, no doubt. Rainfall amounts, quarter, maybe a half inch at most. Lesser amounts of water as it looks like right now over far southwest Wisconsin, perhaps a little bit more in places where they actually really don't need those raindrops, as it looks like right now over towards Waukesha and Milwaukee. But we'll keep a close eye on. You'll want to definitely tune in tomorrow night for that very latest future track projection of those showers for the overnight period going on into Thursday morning. And as we move forward here, overnight low temperatures right around 50 degrees, maybe upper 40s in the Watertown area, with high temperatures as we go on into Wednesday in the low to mid 70s, but it may stay in the 60s over far southwest Wisconsin if we do get those clouds and those few showers to pop up in the area. So again, a mild day, but not anywhere where we're anywhere close to where we should be for this time of year. We should see our temperatures in the upper 70s to right around 80 for this time of year, not the temperatures in the upper 60s to right around 70. The next chance of rain is going to build in as we head towards the Labor Day time frame, after it, I should say, with our temperatures at night getting back up closer to 60, so a little bit more in the way of humidity in the air. And for the year, we're sitting right at normal. I keep getting these questions when I go out, and they're good questions in the community. Hey, August was so rainy. We must be significantly above normal. Madison, we're just sitting right at normal for the month and for the year right now. So raindrops, we could probably in a little while use a couple more raindrops in the Madison area, I should say.
All right.
Seems like it's been a little bit on the dry side lately. We want it to stay that way, especially come Thursday. Now we got a Badger game, but in the meantime, Brewers, what's going on with these little pesky Diamondbacks?
Yeah, they just keep seeming to find a way to slither their way back into games. And still to come in sports, the Brewers, like we said, kept building leads that the Diamondbacks kept coming back from. Could the Crew come out with the win? The answer next in sports. Wisconsin football opens their 2025 season later this week, but this entire week feels like Christmas Eve, or the anxiety you get before any big day. You know what I'm talking about, that bubbling feeling in your stomach that you just can't get rid of. The kind of feeling that keeps you up at night in a good way. That's what the Badgers are feeling before Thursday's opener against Miami of Ohio. But Luke Fickell says that whole Christmas Eve analogy is a little different for kids than it is parents.
Well, as a parent with Christmas, it's a little bit easier because, you may have a better idea of, what morning's going to look like. And I know there's some unknowns, don't get me wrong. But as a kid, yeah. So there's a lot of things that are a little bit more unknowns. And it is. There's twofold. There's an anxiety about we just want to play, but there's still some things we got to be able to do. And then, there's some unknowns. And so an exciting time. It never, like, I don't care how many years you've done it. In particular, college football, this is probably the most exciting, but yet, anxiety-ridden time as any time during the year.
And if you're like Luke Fickell and just can't wait for 8 p.m. on Thursday night, join Eric Franke and I right before the game, 90 minutes before kickoff. We get you ready with Wisconsin Game Day, live from Camp Randall at 6:30 on Thursday, getting you ready for Miami of Ohio and, of course, breaking down the X's and O's and their gauntlet of a schedule. But if that's still not enough for you, we've got you covered. Head on over to Channel 3000. Plus, starting at 7, Eric and I will have a more in-depth breakdown of the team leading into their season opener. Let's talk baseball because, in case you forgot, and I know you didn't, but the Brewers still have the best record in MLB. They hosted the Diamondbacks again tonight, and the Crew built a 6-0 lead that the Snakes kept coming back from. Bryce Durang gave the Crew, though, a little bit of wiggle room, blasting his 9th homer in his last 23 games, make it 8-3 Brewers. But those pesky Snakes kept slithering back, tied at 8 in the 9th, and the rookie Isaac Collins cries out, "No more." A walk-off sac fly wins it for Milwaukee. 9-8 the final score. Staying on the baseball field, where the 2026 MLB slate came out today, and for the first time since 2021, the Crew will open their season at AmFam, hosting the White Sox on March 28th. The first time the Cubs come to town is in late June, coming to AmFam for a weekend series starting on the 26th. Drake Baldwin's Braves come into town in late August, and the Crew end their season at home too, hosting the Cardinals in a 3-game set that ends on the 27th. And speaking of the 27th of August is tomorrow. The weather we can expect then next.
Well, today is the year's biggest day for man's best friend, National Dog Day, right in the middle of the dog days of summer. The perfect day. Look at that troublemaker. Perfect day to treat your pooch to an extra walk, a grooming, or maybe an extra treat.
That's my Emma.
My Emma.
Yeah, and there's
is that
Eddie. It's Eddie. National Dog Day.
There's Eddie. Blends right in with the rug.
This was founded 2 decades ago by an animal rescue advocate and dog trainer. The date of August 26th is personal for her. It's the date her family adopted their first. That's my B.
Is that Emma again?
That's Emma again.
We got a picture a day of her.
Yeah, well, oh, please.
That's Tate. That's mine. That's my yellow lab. 13 years old.
Sweet.
Never misses a meal, folks. Let me tell you that.
No,
even your meal. He wants your meal. Sometimes he might even take your hand off.
I could look at this all night.
That's for our producer, Abe. He got to know Tate really well last week. Quick final check. Forecast staying good.
Yeah, staying good. Main thing is the Badger game looks dry.
It's not really the dog days of summer. It's really nice out there. Thanks for joining us, folks. Colbert's next.